Awesome. There we are. I am here with Bryan Powell from Powell Real Estate, gentleman that we've been working with for quite some time now. Obviously in California specifically, but we came across. I think I reached out to you cold, if I'm not mistaken. We kind of just reached out regarding one of the websites there. I knew we could have helped with the ISA kind of more lead gen part. So it's been really good working with you guys, and your team has got things dialed in very nicely. So wanted to bring you on for those listening. Bring Bryan on to discuss how it's been working with us, what he's got recommendations wise for new agents jumping into this, and really just kind of flow from there.
Yeah. First off, your company and yourself and everyone that works for Convertify, they've been awesome. The number one thing that we look for as agents when we do hire an ISA is we want to get that part over to an expert. I didn't want my agents to have to deal with that and have to train them. I wanted to get it over to an expert,
Hmm.
and someone that just does this all day. That's what
Yeah.
you guys do. So right away, once we handed off and got through our kind of our conversion,
Hmm.
it was very simple. I mean, we get an email that says, "Hey, you've got a new lead. Here's all of the information that we learned from them in our conversation, price point, where they're looking, any other information that we might need, so that then my agent can give them a call, and they're not starting from scratch.
Yeah.
They have some background information so that it can feel like you guys are an extension of us.
Hmm.
So it's, hey, my colleague set up this appointment for us. I'm super happy to talk to you. I see you're looking in El Dorado Hills. How can I help?
Hmm.
And right off the bat, now we have, it almost feels like you guys are internal to us.
Yeah.
So yeah, so the experience has been good. The professionalism is great. What we love most is, I think for anybody that's thinking about doing online leads, for us it was Google pay per click. They're not all good, and so you're going to get some that you guys will weed through all of the bad ones,
Yeah.
and even then you'll still get some that maybe they catch you on the phone, and they give you some information, but then they ghost us.
Yeah.
Well, we can easily hand that off back to you. I give my agents about 24 hours to try multiple attempts.
Hmm.
And then I don't want them to beat their heads in the wall. So I say, hey, 24 hours. If you can't get them, I'm sending them right back to Convertify.
Yep.
And then a lot of times within the next day or two, you guys will send them right back to us saying, yep, talk to them again. They apologize. They're going to be on the phone at this time. And
Yeah.
we give them a call and we can go from there. And that's been great.
Yeah.
Just the seamlessly being able to give them back so that we don't lose anything.
Hmm.
Because the number one fear for myself as a broker, and is paying for this, is you don't want somebody that's a potential lead to a potential client that might convert down the road. You don't want them to get lost in the shuffle, because
Yeah.
all of our agents are busy. They're working with clients every day, and if they get discouraged because they can't get a hold of someone, if I keep that with them, it's they're likely to forget about that person,
Yeah.
and we don't
That's
want to do that.
It's huge. The handoff was nice. You guys were super, for those listening, you gotta, it's not like us serving stuff on a silver platter. You guys took them very, very seriously of like, we're treating this almost as a cold lead because they literally don't know us for one. Two, they had maybe a brief conversation. I think our average is usually 8 to 10 minutes. So we're speaking to them 8 to 10 minutes at a time, maybe at most 15, 17, 18. And that's kind of the sweet spot for us. So it's still, we're not like building a ton of a big relationship here. We still have a lot of work to do, but you guys were really diligent in being like that. I mean, almost to the minute, definitely within the hour. Doesn't matter what time we sent the appointment at. There was that handoff of like, yep, awesome. This is who it's going to. This is who to expect a reply from. And thank you. Versus, some agents I've seen it go really wonky when you don't reply to the email or when they don't follow up even with the lead at the scheduled time. It's like, well, what do you think is going to happen, right? The process is not going to be anywhere near dialed in to where it needs to be. And you're basically, even with us, you're lighting money on fire. So Bryan said it best, even with an ISA, you need to be careful on how you're treating the leads, what you're saying to them, all these kinds of things. And the handoff process is super smooth. We used wording as associates. That makes it really easy for the lead to be like, oh, okay, so associates, you're going to be connected with me with the agent, and I'll be meeting them tonight at 6. Is that right? Bang on. Like that's exactly what that kind of energy is and handoff process is. And it makes it really good. That's perfect. I guess in terms of lastly, just what an agent should expect with an ISA, expenditure wise, or when they feel they should know they're ready. Because a lot of people will sometimes come to us and hit our door and be like, "Well, I'm ready to do this thing. Closed my first two deals. Let's, get another one in 30 days with this online lead stuff." And it's like, it does not work like that. If anything, you should give this thing minimum 3 to 6 months to even break even, let alone be at profitable state. So I know you from the I think our first conversation, definitely our second, we're like, I know this thing isn't, turn around green day one. I'm gonna give it some time. I know it's not anyone's fault if it takes even longer than that. It's just we got to give this process, this system time, and we'll beat it if we just give it long enough. So, if you want to talk
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah. So online leads, whether you're doing Google pay per click or Facebook or some other method,
Mhm.
you have to imagine you have to put yourself in that person's shoes. That person went onto Google and searched, houses for sale in Granite Bay.
Mhm.
And they are typically, if they aren't picking up the phone to call an agent right now, they're usually like 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. I mean, they are far down. They have a long path ahead of them.
Mhm.
It's the exception, not the rule, that someone finds you online and is ready to transact in the next month or two.
Yeah.
So the way we look at it is we are laying the foundation through both hopefully a conversation, but then we get them set up on property alerts.
Mhm.
So it's effectively a drip campaign, but it's property alerts. And if they can become accustomed to using our website and searching for properties there, then, and we can keep having little touch points here and there that, in a year or 2 years or whenever that time is, they'll say, you know what, I've been getting these emails from Powell Real Estate for the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to give them a call. So it's a long-term play, and it's not cheap. So the other thing I would think about is volume is key. You cannot. It's a numbers game. So if you figure, I don't remember, Brandon, your numbers in terms of conversions. I want to say it was like in the 8% range.
Yeah, well,
Does that sound
average is 5 to 7, and we were hitting, especially even on lower lead flows. He's so right. You need It's like a law of averages. You can't do even 50, even 70, 80 a month is just really tough to scratch the surfaces. I recommend absolute minimum 100 net, which really means 120 gross because there's always going to be the 10 or 20 bogus leads. And I remember you catching those and be like, yeah, these are, there's nothing we could do. It's nothing we could do personally. So we kind of just DQ those. That's super important. You got to have that in mind too. So yeah, around 5, 7% absolute minimum, but you were above that, which is great. And that's a testament to market. That's going to be sometimes it's even lower than averages, depending on the market that the agent is in. But yeah, exactly.
And sometimes it's hard. So we struggled. There were times when we were well above that 100 a month mark, but there were times where we were well below it, and it
Yeah.
was because in our market there's a lot of competition for those Google pay-per-click leads. So sometimes what Google will do is they will ratchet up the pricing. Like if there's a
Bidding.
lot of,
Yeah.
if there's a lot of competitive bidding for those, Google ads,
Yep.
they'll just keep going up. And so we would sometimes see our cost per click or our cost per lead double or triple to a point where it stopped making sense. So
Yeah.
I have someone that manages that part for me. And so the only way to solve that is you have to pull back your spend and then increment it slowly so that the pricing adjusts.
Mhm.
So it's not, it is worthwhile. And it's also market dependent. So I do know that there are areas in the United States. I'm not familiar with Canada, but in areas in the United States that where the cost per lead is very low and you can crush it and just
Mhm.
get tons and tons of volume. There are others, and it tends to be the higher price points where it's much more expensive. And if you have a lot of competition, it can be difficult to get the volume of leads that you need to convert. So it's all there's a lot that goes into it. I would not shy anyone away from doing it,
Yeah.
but you need to understand that's a longer term play.
Bingo. Perfectly said. That's it. That's awesome. Thank you to those listening. Thank you for tuning in. And as always, Brian, thanks a ton. Means a lot.
Yep, you got it, Brandon.
Thank you.